Welcome back to Drop In. I am super stoked to be here with you today and share a microdose hit of magic and medicine with you. So, today we're going deep to take you home. Shocker, I know that's how we roll in my world. So, I want to speak to the part of you that knows you're expanding, that feels the gravitational pull toward more clients, more impact, more visibility, more intimacy, more stage, more book deals, more eyes on you. And simultaneously, there's this low hum in your body, isn't there? Maybe it feels like anxiety or pressure, or just this internal noise that says, this is too much. You can't hold this. Who do you think you are? You're not broken. You're not blocked. And you're certainly not resisting success. You're in a moment of nervous system contradiction. Because while one part of you is walking toward the stage, another part is white knuckling the edge of the exit door. And in this episode, we're going to talk about why. Why high achieving, wildly talented, deeply mission led leaders suddenly feel frozen or overwhelmed when everything they've wanted starts arriving, and what to do about it. Let's start with a raw truth. Most of the stress you're calling overwhelm isn't coming from your calendar. It's coming from your unconscious wiring. Your nervous system has one job: to keep you alive, not thriving, not glowing, not on your dream stage, just alive. And to your body, being seen might still feel like a threat. Being heard might still register as exposure. Making more money than your parents ever did might still carry the fear of disconnection. This is why I say all the time, success won't feel safe until your system believes it's survivable. So you can vision board your way to the moon. But if your body still thinks being powerful equals being punished, you'll sabotage it without realizing. Let me give you a real moment from one of my clients, someone who has built empires. She said to me, "It feels like I've been carrying 10 years of stress in my body. And since working with you, I've gone from a level 8 out of 10 to a 0. It's just melted away." And it did. Because we stopped trying to think our way through expansion and started feeling safe enough to hold it. That's the shift. That's the work. Not chasing new levels, but making your system safe to stay there. So let's talk about the invisible war inside high achievers. let's talk about the parts. The ones you try to silence, the ones you try to bypass. There's the part of you who wants to lead, to launch, to take up space. And the part of you that's quietly whispering, what if we get canceled? What if we outshine our partner? What if it all gets taken away? What if the more I'm seen, the more I'm attacked or rejected? And that's not fear. That's loyalty. Loyalty to a younger version of you who once decided that silence equals safety, that hiding equals love, that smallness equals survival. That's why all of the subconscious change work that I'm highly trained in are my favorite tools. Because you're not fighting your fear. You're misunderstanding it. And this is how NLP parts integration has supported me within my expansion. Every block is actually a protector. A version of you still frozen in time, still doing its job. And when you stop trying to delete that part and instead integrate it, you become unstoppable. So you're not at war with yourself. You're just overdue for a staff meeting. And here's the spicy truth I wish more people would say out loud. The more powerful your voice, the more your system has to process. Visibility is a trauma trigger for most people because your system doesn't distinguish between being seen for impact and being seen for execution. To your subconscious, visibility equals vulnerability, and vulnerability equals a threat. So if you're launching a new brand, stepping onto a TEDx stage, pitching your book to publishers, or just showing up more boldly online, you might notice your system rebelling. Procrastination, panic attacks, emotional shutdown, perfectionism, rage spirals. It's not your weakness. It's your nervous system raising a red flag. The problem is, most people ignore the flag and just push harder. But in my world, we read the flag. We thank it. And then we rewire it. Because if you're being called up, you need a system that can hold that elevation. Here's the thing. You don't need more mindset tips. You need integration. You need to feel your system unclench. You need to walk into a high-pressure room and feel your body say, "We're good. We're safe. This is ours." This is the difference between success you force and success that becomes your baseline. Every time I work with a visionary who says, I'm doing everything right, but I still feel pressure. I still can't breathe. We don't dive into strategy. We go into the body. We go into the subconscious. We let the protector part speak. And without fail, when that part gets seen, honored, and brought with us instead of left behind, the whole system shifts. And here's what I hear every time. I didn't even know how heavy I was until it was gone. That is the real ROI of this work. Not just money, not just momentum, but internal congruence. That clean, electric feeling when every part of you is on board. No sabotage. No friction. No fear pretending to be strategy. Just peace and power. So if you're listening to this and you're feeling the tension, the pull forward and the ache back, I want you to know that's not a block. That's a breakthrough waiting for permission. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're just being asked to stop outsourcing your power to logic and start listening to your body's real signals. Because you're not stepping into more by force. You're stepping into more by making it safe to expand. So let this be your moment. Let this episode mark the day you stopped fighting the part of you that was scared and started walking with her. Let this be the day you stopped calling your stress normal and started calling in wholeness. Because the next level of your business, your impact, your legacy, it does not require more hustle. It requires more safety. And that safety lives inside of you. It's already awakening. Are you listening? If this moves something in you, if you felt your body soften or your throat tighten or your truth rise to the surface, then good. You're ready. Ready for the kind of integration that melts decades of stress. The kind of support that doesn't tell you to push through, but shows you how to breathe through and rise anyway. And if your system is whispering, yes, I want this, then trust it. You're being called up, not to burn out, but to rise rooted. You're already ready. This is just the moment you remembered. I've got you. Most people think scaling is about doing more. More strategy, more hours, more effort. Your success isn't about how hard you work. It's about how well your nervous system can hold what you're building. If your body is stuck in survival mode, no strategy in the world will make scaling feel sustainable. You'll stay in the cycle of overthinking, self-sabotaging, pushing harder while getting nowhere. Not because you don't know what to do, but because your system isn't wired to receive what you're working for. That's why I created the Inner Pharmacy Playbook. 143 power pages of real, high-level strategy to regulate your nervous system, rewire resistance, and finally step into momentum that sticks. Because you weren't meant to build your empire through exhaustion. You were meant to build it with ease, clarity, and power. And that starts here. Go to the show notes and grab your copy of the Inner Pharmacy Playbook, because the next level of your business is not about grinding harder. It's about becoming the version of you who can hold it all.